Right, so I've took off the masking tape, as you can see. Now here where the Gorilla Glue is, it's not wanting to come off. The Gorilla Glue is so strong, so it's going to have to come off with a chisel. Inside has all, in the bottom, all the glue's foamed up. So I'm just going to basically get the chisel, take it all off, and just put a bit of sand it a bit, and then it should look pretty good. So I'll show you what you do when you use the chisel. I'll be using this one, which is nice and sharp. I sharpened it last week and hardly used it since then. But when you use it, you want to use the edge here running against the wood. So therefore, when you use it that side, it generally starts to dig in and take it out. So if you just use it that way, it just basically runs along the top of the wood flush and just scrapes off whatever's on top. So, right, so I'm drilling the hole in with the DeWalt drill. Now it's got a small bit, which is the same size as a different bit, which I'll show you in a minute. I was going to use the mortiser, but the motor was hitting on the top of here, so it won't go all the way through. Had a longer bit, I might have been able to get it through. But anyway, I marked it up on here. So I'm just going to drill through here. Make sure you drill it straight. And do just the same on the other one. Like so. Now I've got the pilot holes for when I put the screws in, and I'll show you using the other bit. Right, so I'm using this bit here. Now it's a countersink drill bit, so I'll show you what it does. So this bit in here, you can see, this bit in here was the same size as the bit that put the hole in. So I'll show you doing this. It is hard work because the top of this here is in the way a bit. So I'll just do the other one. Just put a little bit further in that one. Okay, that should do. And as you can see here, I'll zoom out a bit. You can see it's put a countersink in with the smaller holes going through the back. So now when I put the screws in, they won't be sticking out, they'll be flush with the wood or further in. Generally the bit on it, the bit is for putting plugs in, but I won't be able to be taking it off and putting it on. So now I just need to carry on using the sandpaper as I'll show you now. Right, so I'm starting off with some 120 grit, and then I'll be going on to 180 grit. And then I've got some really fine grit, which is 295 grit. So I'll get on with it. So just fold it like that, or however you prefer to use it, and then just get into all the corners. Yeah, just in here where the pass is going is really hard to get into because I can't get my fingers in it to sand down there. So I've got my homemade push stick, and where the handle is, I'll just tape some sandpaper around it. Just stick it in there. The tape comes up above the top of the lid. So you just go around like that. And it's sanding both sides, sanding the inside of that side and the inside of that side. It's doing both sides, and if it goes to the edge, you just do that, it sands that, do that, it sands that, and just keep on moving it around. I'll start using the 180 grit. Now, I could use a power tool, but I don't have any of the correct, well, I can't get into all the edges in here, and I don't have all the different grits for this, so I basically just have 2 grits, and I'm not sure what they are, but basically I just use it to get in all the corners and give basic rounding shape. So I'll start off just by going on the outside, rubbing. Now to go in with the grain, it's easier and you'll get it a lot smoother, and that feels really good. Right, so this is really nice and smooth with just the P180 grit. Now it's time to use the 320 grit, but with this stuff, the stuff's really fine on it, and after a couple of rubs it's worn off. So, and the stuff ain't cheap, so you have to use it wisely. So I might not do the back, but I'll do all the front and everything. So you just make it like normal sandpaper and just rub it on there, and that feels really smooth. Right, so it's time to oil in it, or varnish in it. I'm going to be using some finishing oil. I was going to use Danish oil, but it's all dried up in the bottom for some reason. But that's what it will look like. Can you see? Different colour. I like the way it shines out and brings out the green. So you just get your lid, tip it up, get a bit on your rag or cloth or whatever, and just apply. And look how the green comes out of that. It's beautiful. So you just cover the whole thing, and then when that's pretty much dried, you can see how it shines as well. It looks really good. So when this actually dries, I'll be get the 320 grit and just sanding it, and just get it a little bit more smoother, and then just put the last coat of it on. Now I'm not going to put any blackboard paint on because I think it'll just ruin it, so I'm just going to apply some of the finishing oil. You generally don't need much, but a good amount does it. But I like the way that really does bring out the green, and it's really easy to apply because it's so smooth. It's just applying like nothing, and it rubs on really nice, and it feels good putting it on. But it feels good at the moment, so I'll just put this down so just in case there's any dust, which there probably is. So yeah, I like the way it brings out the green and looks really good. Right, so this one's pretty much dry now. So I'm just going to give it another coat. I did say I was going to give it another sand, but it feels smooth enough for me. It does. If you had someone just come and feel like with like a blindfold on, they would probably say it was plastic, but it's actually wood. So I'll just put another coat on, and then that should be it, and then we'll mount it to whatever we're putting it on. So just unscrew that. And rub it in there. Might be able to see it shining. Give it a good rub. You can see it's already starting to shine. Just rub it really good, and it might keep the shine. As you can see there, looks really good. And just do that with all the other sides. Right, now it's time for mounting. It's going on here. Now it's going to be so it's like that. Now I have to see if it's level. Now I've got this spacer underneath it, so I can see it's about right. So right, that's level there.
So I just mark it on the edges, like so. And now I can just get my screws set into the holes, like that. Just have it going through a bit. And same with the other one. You can just twist them with your fingers, but you just get a bit stiffer, so easy using the drill. Right, now with it in position, which is about there, so you mark it up with the corner marks we did, and then just carry on screwing. And pull it up tight. And you can pull out your spacer, and it's now hanging, it's not coming off.